Yeah, gosh, I mean, I literally was on a 2 week holiday. This turned into 18 years. So it wasn't, I would just kind of like fell in love with the place immediately.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's
So
beautiful.
yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So I definitely, I like it out here. And then, luckily enough, like, I found baseball and that was what kept me here. And then then I met my wife and then I'm still here. So
Is the baseball scene pretty big there, Jason?
no. So,
Oh.
there's probably about 100 people that play baseball in Scotland. There's
Uh-huh.
probably around 2,000 in all of the UK. So you got to be pretty passionate to play the game and follow the game there. So everyone's got a different story. Like I know one guy who was a bartender, and when he would come home at night, baseball was on, and so he started following baseball because it was the only thing on at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, that's funny.
John's got his own story.
What's your story, John?
I found baseball accidentally 20 years ago. I hired a game from a video store called All Star Baseball 2002 on PlayStation 2.
Uh-huh.
I was already kind of a hockey fan. I'd played the NHL games on Mega Drive and whatnot.
Oh,
And I really enjoyed All Star Baseball 2002 and was aware that they had like live games on here once a week at the time. Soon after that, it became two games a week. So I gave it a chance and watched a few games and just completely fell in love with the game back in 2001 when I was 13 years old.
oh, geez.
And just the obsession grew from there.
Yeah, I've been practicing a lot longer than you've been alive.
So we tend to have a bit of a chat before we get started, and we'll kind of announce it once we send it out to all the social media and kind of let it go. And there's no one, waiting for us to start exactly. Was it 1:30 your time?
Well, we have Stephen Loudon is back with us. Good evening, Stephen. It's great to have you with us again, man. He's been kind of an ever present. He's been listening to most of these, so thanks so much again for joining us. We're live, guys. So I'm just going to share this, and then we'll get started. You guys can continue to chinwag while I'm doing it.
Yeah, I mean it's tough because you're competing with other sports for the best people. So if you're lucky, you get someone who doesn't play cricket anymore, and you convert into baseball, and hopefully the passion's there. I mean, you're on the West Coast, so you can understand. Like I'm a Mariner. I'm from Seattle originally. I'm a Mariner fan, so normally games are 3 o'clock in the morning. So there's a couple guys who are like completely hardcore and stay up and watch games that late.
Yeah, I mean, baseball's pretty much my family's religion, and it has been. It was, when I was growing up, and it remains. And we're kind of, with the whole COVID thing out here, we've been trying to find ways to find, fields are closed, so we were, playing. The city of Los Angeles felt it appropriate to put giant cement tables in the middle of all the baseball fields that are accessible. So I just set up the batting, the out screen behind that, and just kept pitching to my kid. I'll send you a picture, Jason, when you get it. It's a pretty funny picture.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's really the love of the game. I mean, you can count how many fields have a pitcher's mound on it. That's a luxury out here is having a pitcher's mound. There's maybe
mounds do we have? It's two, isn't it? Just Glasgow and Tayport that have got built in.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Aberdeen doesn't have like a built-in mound, do they?
I don't know. I think they have a wooden one, don't they? They bring it in for it.
I think so. Anyone from Aberdeen that happens to be listening, please confirm. I'm pretty sure you're right, though. I'm pretty sure you're right that they have like a kind of Trojan horse mound that they like to wheel on. And
thing weighs like 400 pounds. I mean, you got a tractor to pull that thing in and off the field. That's huge.
Yeah, it was at least 2 tons.
Right.
At least 2 tons. It's solid cement, so. But that's not going to stop us from playing. So,
what about cages? Are cages open?
No. Well, no, they're not. They're just starting. Our high school team, my son's high school team, just struck a deal with a local little league to use their cages. They were just given the authority to open, I think, 2 days ago.
Right.
So, if you can find a cage, that the cost is at a premium.
Gotcha.
to use it too. But we hit in the nets. There's different things to do, and they've been doing a lot of weightlifting and things just to pass the time to stay sharp. But it's my son is going into his junior year, and he's getting a lot of looks from Division I schools, and
Right.
So we'll see what happens.
Is he leaning towards any school in particular now?
Not really. He likes UCS, University of California, San Diego.
Right.
They're just going D1 right now, and they've got a really good program. But they're even the Cal State schools around where we are. They produce a lot of players.
Yep.
A lot of major league players. Our high school produced Ryan Braun and Gary Matthews Jr., John Elway. A lot of players.
A couple guys who did okay in their career.
Yeah, one's doing okay, and one's owns 75 car dealership, so that's not too bad.
Okay, that's me shared it around, guys. So let's get underway officially. Hi everyone, I'm John McKellar, one half of Ball Caps and Bagpipes, which is normally a Scottish baseball podcast. We are devoted to the Baseball Scotland National League. But as anyone who's joined us this past week will know, this week and for the next couple of weeks, we're doing a very special project for the Negro League Art Fundraiser that's coming up between 4th and 10th of October. I'm here with my co-host, Jason Dare.
Hi, I'm Jason. I'm a former Baseball Scotland president and Baseball Scotland Hall of Famer. So, yep, we're not talking about Scottish baseball. We're talking to one of the artists today, and we've got Gregg Garfinkel from Baseball Days. I said that right, Gregg?
That's correct.
Okay. So we touched here in LA. Where in LA exactly are you?
We're about 30 minutes outside of downtown Los Angeles in a suburb called Porter Ranch in the San Fernando Valley. Made infamous or famous by the movie Valley Girl, which is probably before your time as well.
I know Valley Girl, so I'm a bit older here. Like I said, I just have a baby face. That's what I got working for me. I had a beard like yours about a month ago, and I shaved it on my 45th birthday, so I looked younger. So
right, okay, yeah, I've got the COVID beard going on, and since I don't see clients or judges very frequently right now, I'm kind of just letting it go.
So speaking of that, said obviously you have baseball always. You have a different career, so you're a lawyer.
I am, unfortunately or fortunately, I am. I've been a business litigator for about 30 years,
right?
Practicing in the entirety of California, and I also monitor some litigation nationwide.
And do you specialize in anything in particular?
Most of my clients are related to the transportation industry.
Right.
I don't do personal injury. I do compliance work and catastrophic cargo loss and real interesting stuff that, chicks dig the long ball, but they don't dig transportation law. So
it's funny you say that. I was reading an article last night on what do you call it? The back ends of the truck. I'm sorry, it's a little tired. I'm rolling solo for the past week. My wife's not here; she's back in Sweden. The cargo, that people put on the side of the road and gets stolen quite frequently.
It happens. It's probably happening as we speak right now.
Yeah. Where guys roll around in their cab and look for just somebody that's put something on the side of the road, and they'll just hitch it up and take it somewhere.
Or something more sinister too.
Right.
It's a lot of. I don't want to talk too much about this for obvious reasons, but a lot of it involves organized crime. It's I've had cases where it's pretty obvious that they knew what was in the 3 containers out of the 400 that were on the lot that were stolen. So
let's move swiftly away from that then and into baseball, Gregg. Let's start off. You mentioned that you're from kind of the LA area. Tell us about your baseball background. Growing up, did you play? And if so, to what level? And what positions did you specialize in, if any?
Oh, absolutely. I started playing. My mom gave me a baseball bat and a wiffle ball, I think at the age of 7. I'm 55 now. That kind of hurts saying that. But I played all the way through college. And then had to make it this, I'm very slow. My speed is somewhere between Rusty Staub and Steve Balboni, if you know those players.
Yeah, I'm well aware of those guys.
So, needless to say, I opted to become a little bit more serious in my studies, but I continue to play. I play in a couple of fast pitch leagues with the men's leagues that are out here, and I mean it's people my age. There's 80 teams of guys my age just in the valley where I live. So it's always been a passion of mine. I've coached both of my boys through Little League. and I'll coach again when I retire. I volunteer. I mean, I can't get enough of the game, and I love it more and more as time goes by.
So what positions did you play when you were growing up?
I played, well, when I was smaller, I played shortstop and pitcher. And then when I got a little bit more third baseman like, I moved over to third base and still pitched up till my junior year in high school.
Excellent, man. Sorry, what were you going to say there, Jason?
I said I was going to say with his speed, I was guessing first base, like myself, because I'm a speedster on the pass as well.
Wait, is that why Jason put me at first base? He's trying to tell me something.
It's the position, you put yourself in there because you got the speed.
Yeah, that's where they put the third base is where you put the people with good reactions but not too much speed. It's more of a reactionary position from my standpoint.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what I tell guys out here, because you literally get guys who have gone to New York, Boston, Toronto. Actually, funny enough, Florida. You can see a lot of people go to Tampa Bay games because they go to Disney World and they come back and go, I saw a game, I love it. And they go out and buy a glove and they go, okay, I'm ready to play. So you really have to start with the basics of a guy who's never ever thrown a ball or fielded a ball like that there. And so you kind of go, okay, all right, we start you at second base or right field. And as you progress, we can see the talent level. We can kind of move you around there. But at third base is just like I said, it's like you've got half a second to decide which direction you're going.
Right. Yeah, that's why I love it. The more I find, the less I think when I'm playing baseball, the better I do. So shortstop, I have too much time to think about and analyze the ball, whereas third baseman, I react. So
you took some advice from Crash Davis. Don't think me.
Right, exactly.
So tell us about your art. If you want to call yourself an artist, and say you don't want to call yourself an artist, but
to me, the artists in this, there's many artists that are participating. I did this kind of as a joke to start a couple of years ago, where I started just piecing balls together and seeing how they look. I started making baseball wreaths to assist my son in a fundraiser for his high school, and I find that as time goes by, I'm getting a little bit more creative and doing things that I look at and say, wow, I think that looks cool. I can't believe I did that. Right. And I try to inject and try to utilize my knowledge and my love for the game in the pieces that I create. I don't just want to, it's not just a painting. It's kind of like the decoupage projects that I've done that I've donated for the cause, kind of track some of the who's who in the Negro Leagues. The other piece is a Jackie Robinson piece. And it's if I can educate somebody about who cool Papa Bell was, or Ray Dandridge, or, Rube Foster. That to me, I'm doing a service, and it's an educational thing for the public as well.
Yeah, I saw that you did a Roberto Clemente one as well.
Yeah, there's really my son wants me to do one of the ones on Joe Kelly, the famous pout face.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with that. We had a local artist do a mural out here on a building, which is getting a lot of press. And I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yeah, I've seen it all over Instagram. Like, it's all over Twitter here. So it may be a small fan base here, but they're very passionate. Like I said, if you're gonna be watching games late in the morning, you're pretty committed to it, being there. So we all saw the Joe Kelly mural, which is awesome. You had a lot of people go, we need to get shirts made up with him and stuff like that. So right. So we follow it pretty well. So it's just more of like actually finding people to talk with. This is one reason we're enjoying interviewing everybody, because if it wasn't for you guys, we don't have no one to talk baseball with.
Right. But most of my stuff tends to be the things that I've been commissioned to do are mostly, they're pretty Dodger intensive. And the old school Dodgers, when people remained on teams for longer than 3 years, with the Garvey Say Lobes, and I've done some stuff for Steve Yeager, who's actually a friend of mine.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Just different things like that. But it's just kind of, it's fun, and it's very moving for me to see somebody that looks at something I did and said, wow, I really like that. And it's very contrary to what I do as an attorney, which doesn't give you a lot of, you don't get a lot of pats on the back. You get a lot of frowns and why did this cost me so much? So it's completely polar opposite sort of feelings generated from the art that I do.
So how did you meet Steve Yeager and become good friends?
How did I meet him? He was put in touch with me actually through a friend of a local Little League.
Right.
My wife, unfortunately, had breast cancer, was diagnosed in 2007. And for some reason, he kind of just became friendly with me and was just a very nice guy. And after we made that just initial contact, he retained me as his attorney.
Right.
And so I've represented him on a couple of matters, and we've just remained in touch. And actually, my oldest son, worked for Steve at the local sandwich shop that he and his wife own, right down the street from us. So, but he's just, unfortunately, my wife passed in 2012, and I had known him at that point for less than a year, but him and his wife were at the service, which to me showed a lot about what kind of a human being he is.
Right. Because I want to say, was he in the Wax Pack book?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. Because you mentioned the sandwich shop. That rang bells, and I was just like, yeah, I totally, I read that, and I was like, yeah, I remember him talking about the sandwich shop.
Yeah, that's where the interview took place. I think in booth number 1, and that took. Yeah, there's been like a lot of the, when they had the grand opening, they had a bunch of Dodgers come by, and but yeah, I learned a lot about him from that book too.
Yeah, the book was great. We got asked to review it as part of a book club for baseball fans over in the UK. So it was a really good book. For me, that was a lot of nostalgia because that was the first baseball card set I got was 86 Topps. And so when they saw that, I was like, oh man, like this is it. I remember taking that set apart. My parents going, what are you doing? Why are you taking the set apart? I'm like, well, look at all the cards. I want to read the backs and all that. Like, no, you gotta keep it together. So that was a good read, and I really enjoyed kind of hearing what the players had done with their careers afterwards.
Those that were willing to speak.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, no, it was a good book. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Gosh, that's just funny how it's all gone full circle now. So so I was gonna say, with your art, you do kind of, is it mixed media you use? I see. Is it like press clippings you find? Is it you print out the work? And
yeah, I mean, I do all kinds of different things. I don't know if you saw my website. I started, the thing that really gained a lot of traction was that I was making flags, whatever flag or whatever group you belong to, utilizing miniature baseball bats and paint and different reclaimed wood products. And that continues to keep me very, very busy. And then I just thought that I was trying to figure out a way to do the Pledge of Allegiance onto the flag that was a baseball flag. And then I came up with the decoupage approach. And that's basically, the two pieces that I've donated for the fundraiser, a decoupage they're on reclaimed wood, and then the decoupage, and then it's lightly painted over.
Right.
And that way, you could get a truly customized. Somebody says, "Hey, I want the 74As." And it's like, okay, even though it pains me to do that, I'll do that. Don't know that I'm going to do an Astros project, but we'll see.
Oh no, don't do an Astros.
No. I have stickers on my trash cans out here that say the Houston Astros. So I put them on the trash cans, so they get all my refuse and dumped every Tuesday, which I think that team should be dumped as well.
So it's funny you say that because we're interviewing John Sheezer from NLBMArt. Have you heard of him?
I have not.
Okay, yeah. So I've known him on Instagram for probably over a year now. But he's got I think he's in LA as well. But he's got this great shirt with the Houston Astros World Championship thing. But then he is screen printed cheater all the way down it, just across it all there. It's amazing. I got one on the way. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's there's no love lost, and I hope they don't get off the hook just by not having fans in the stands this year, because I think that should follow them for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, it's a tough one. Like Like, I feel for the Dodgers fans. I was like, I'm not an Astros fan at all. So, you know, don't see him having or not. It's tough. What?
What about Yankees fans?
Everyone hates the Yankees.
Well, that color combination, John, that color combination that John's rocking has a little bit of a 76 Astros to it.
Oh God, no! I'll need to put something else on.
He's gonna change. He's gonna put his jersey on now. That's what he's gonna do. So I believe it's his Italian football team that he's wearing.
Okay, we'll let him slide.
Yeah, I don't follow football much or soccer much out here unless it's World Cup and Euro Cup. So John's the football expert. I couldn't tell you what it is. He's putting John.
Problem solved.
So what is that jersey, John?
This is the Glasgow Comets jersey, my player issue Glasgow Comets jersey from 2020.
So, I meant the one you just covered.
The one I just covered is this year's Roma jersey.
Yeah, see, that's what I thought.
It's a soccer jersey. Or football, as we call it. Because that's what it is.
Okay, much better. The interview can resume.
Yes.
So yeah, I didn't check out your website. I was particularly asking about your artwork because I saw the two pieces that you were definitely going to donate to or fundraise for the Negro League fundraiser. But like, how do you make the baseball roses? I saw those, and then that's really complicated.
Yeah, those have the highest amount of pain affiliated with them because I wish you could see my hands. I've got another story too for you, but. Each rose is cut with an X-Acto knife and then recut into 4 petals. And then I have to take each one of those and hot glue them onto a form, which is the same shape as a bud.
Right.
And the injury, I've never felt pain until I've got hot glue on my hand. And yeah, it's not a lot of fun. But just a real quick story is, I went into a doctor's appointment and he looked at my hands and he goes, you sure don't have the hands of a lawyer. And I go, I'll tell you what, that's probably the nicest compliment that anybody's ever paid me is that, I looked at I actually do something with my hands instead of, what exists in my mind.
So as it's grown, because you've been doing it for 3 years, do you see yourself going anywhere in particular with your art, or you just kind of see where it takes you?
Pretty much. I mean, every day I kind of wake up with a different thought, and I like that, especially right now with the chaos that is the United States. It's nice to have that release and just kind of go and focus on something that's completely, outside of reality. And I see myself doing that. I was thinking, I've got to work at least another 10 years. I got 2 boys to put through college. But I think that I'll always do something like this. I'm starting to play around with making furniture with baseball themed or decoupage or repurposing and things like that. So I'm hopeful that the ideas will continue to come and I can, keep working on it.
Yeah. And what do your kids think about this? Are they like totally cool with this, or are they like, oh man, Dad, what are you doing?
No, I mean, when I was doing keychains that I do, I was driving my older son to school, and my right arm hurt, and I go, man, I've been sewing too much, and I looked I looked over at him, I go, is that something you ever thought you'd hear your father say? So. They get a kick out of it now. I think at first they thought it was a little bit much, but I guess the thought is, I take the money that I make and we go fishing with it. So they're benefiting from it. So they can't criticize it too much.
So what kind of fishing do you do then?
All saltwater.
Saltwater.
All
right,
saltwater fishing. And the fishing on our coast is fantastic. People hear LA and they think dirty water, but they could keep thinking that, and I'll just keep going out with my friends and catching tuna and yellowtail and everything that we have on our coast.
Right. See, that's funny because I spent a month in Venice, or actually in Venice, Marina del Rey, and and I was on the beach, and it was like mid-October, and I was like it's 80 degrees out. This is great. Like, I'm running around in shorts, and everyone's like, it's cold. It's 80 degrees out. I couldn't believe it. And I was playing around in the water, and people are like, what are you doing? Like, the sign says, don't go in the water.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this was 2007. So there was a couple of signs that said, I think there was something in the water at that time. They were advising people not to go in the water.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, Jason, because the boats that I take out of, we go out of the Marina del Rey.
Right, yeah.
That's where the landing is that we go out of, and we fish Catalina or some of the islands off our coast.
Yeah, no, and like I was staying with a guy in Venice on I'm trying to think the famous road that everyone knows is down that way. And it was literally a 15-minute walk to the beach. And the amount of looks I got from people walking to the beach was amazing, because everyone's like, I walk everywhere in Scotland. They're like, you walk to the beach? I'm like, yeah, it's a 15-minute walk.
Yeah.
No one could believe it. Even the guy I was staying with was like, I've never walked to the beach. I've driven and I've taken my bike, but I've actually never walked.
Yeah, everything's relative.
Yeah. But for me, we had all the time in the world, so I was enjoying myself out in LA. It was a great time. I think I ate my body weight in tacos, because you can't get tacos in Scotland.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't imagine. Yeah.
Although saying that, you came the wrong time. They do haggis burritos out here.
Do they really?
Yeah, they're really good.
I don't know about that. Most of what I know about Scotland comes from the band Big Country and my limited experience there.
Yeah, Big Country is a great band, a fantastic band.
I love
one
them.
of the best Scottish bands in the 1980s. Yeah.
Yeah, I love them. I think I
Have you
saw
seen them live?
4 times. What's that, John?
I was just about to ask, have you seen them live? I think you were about to answer a question.
I saw them live 4 times. I saw them live 4 times, and I was supposed to see them when they came out here. They came out here about 5 years back with the former lead singer for The Alarm, and I wasn't able to see him. But my boys love them too, which is kind of funny. I still think they're a better band than U2. I'll go to my grave saying that.
I'll agree with you. I'm not a fan of U2, so I'll take that one.
U2 had an extraordinary catalogue in the early days, but I think that they kind of disappeared up their own asses quite a long time ago. Whereas Big Country were just consistently underrated, but such good output. Plus they're Scottish, I'm going to say.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to agree with you guys.
I think that's the first thing I'm going to tell my boys when I go back in the house is, I worship that band growing up.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sorry, Jason, as you were.
No, I was going to let you ask your question so we get to open some cards here. So.
All right, no worries. So first off, you mentioned obviously being in the LA area. You're obviously a Dodger fan. Do you have any particular Dodger memories that stand out?
Dodger what? I'm sorry.
Do you have any Dodger memories that stand out for you from your time growing up?
John, I'm not picking up the second word, and I'm sorry.
It's the accent. He's asking if
do you have any favorite Dodgers memories?
Oh. Okay, there we go. I'm sorry that the accent was a little bit heavy that time, John. I'm pretty good till then. Yeah, I'll tell you one memory that we had, and it involves my wife actually. And as I had mentioned, she was re-diagnosed with breast cancer in 2007, and we took part in the program was actually sponsored by Major League Baseball called Going to Bat Against Cancer, and it involved writing a essay that was judged nationwide. The long story short is we won the contest. So she was the honorary Dodger Batgirl for a Mother's Day game in 2009.
Wow!
And the best pictures that we have of our family are, from that event, and the way that the Dodgers treated us was just amazing. And they gave her a pink bat, monogram pink bat. And but I've got so many. I've probably been to over 2,000 games.
Oh wow!
My first game I heard was August 9th, 1974. And, been to 2 no-hitters. gosh, never got a foul ball though. But
Really?
Amazing.
Is that because you're sitting behind home plate and the ball just doesn't come your way? Is that how it works?
No, we know all the key spots to sit, Jason, but we've never gotten one.
It's funny that, like I said, I've been to not nearly as many games as you are, and I literally go to batting practice because I know my chances are better at batting practice than they are at the game. And then I've had friends that like went to their first game and they're like, I got a ball. And I was like, oh, I hate you. You're the worst.
Yeah, it's I can't understand it. We've come close. We've had balls thrown to us, but that's not, that's not fair. You got to catch a live ball, all 80 miles per hour exit velocity of it.
Yeah, exactly. So speaking of all your Dodger teams, then, so what's your favorite Dodger team throughout this? Say the last, apart from '75. I said you got anyone in particular? I say I'm kind of leaning towards the '88 Dodgers because that's when I really remember the World Series.
Yeah, that was my first year of law school. Was in '88, so I was watching the games up in San Francisco Giant territory. So I was watching it remotely. I mean, I love that team. I love the '74. I love the Garvey Say Lopes years. I forgot Russell. Sorry about that. That's really what, where I cut my teeth on the game and started collecting baseball cards. And that's really what exposed me to the game. I absolutely love Mookie Betts, watching him play. I feel blessed to have him, and now we're going to have him for a while. But every team has had different aspects that I've, loved and kind of militated toward.
Yeah, that's what was it? I lost my train of thought, but yeah, the Dodgers always have been a good team. It's one of those teams I don't necessarily hate because of their. Oh, I know what to say. So I was listening to an interview with Darryl Strawberry, and he was saying how he doesn't like the modern game, and he misses the old managers like Tommy Lasorda because he would argue and said with they're talking about robot umpires, and you can basically object to balls and strikes now. So you just don't have those fiery managers anymore. But he was just saying he missed Lasorda. So
one of my favorite baseball memories from the very first week I started watching games was Tommy Lasorda taking a bat from Vlad Guerrero off the chest in the 2001 All-Star game, and the old bastard got right back up and was like, I'm totally fine. And it must have been in the 70s by then.
Oh, was that the All-Star game, John?
Yeah, the 2001 All-Star game.
Yeah, we call that ass over tea kettle.
Fantastic.
So yeah, I remember that. He did pop up pretty good.
Yeah. Considering the speed that bat was going, outrageous.
It was Tommy's birthday the other day. I think it was like his 93rd or 94th.
93. Yeah, 93.
90. Yeah. Yeah, 94, and then Vince Scully just auctioned off a bunch of his memorabilia. I put a bunch of bids in, but I didn't get anything. So we've met Vince Scully a couple of times too. That was a highlight.
Dude, that's cool.
I was so nervous meeting him, Jason. I was trying to take a picture of my son with him, and the line that he said to me, I was fumbling with the phone. He goes, "What are you trying to do? Take an oil painting?"
Before we wrap up, actually, Greg, I want to ask you this question as a kind of lay person over here. You mentioned Vince Scully. Now, in America, it's not the same as it is over here, where you would just have a national broadcast. You've obviously got local broadcasters. Vince Scully would have been the voice of your childhood. For a guy like me or a guy like over here, tell me what a Vince Scully means to a young boy growing up in LA.
That was the first exposure to Major League Baseball that I had. Was Vince Scully, and the reason I know it was August 9th, 1974. It was my birthday, and I opened a pack of baseball cards, and somebody said, "Oh yeah, they do the games on radio." And I turned the radio on. I remember exactly where I was in the house that I lived in, and I heard that beautiful silver voice coming over the radio, and I can't listen to any other broadcaster without judging what they're doing against Vince Scully. And most of them fall woefully short. and just Vin's ability to weave a story through the whole game without sounding like a homer is a very, you knew he was the Dodgers announcer, but he was fair. If the other team made a good play, he would compliment them on it. It wasn't all, who's paying me.
Yeah.
But and just probably my favorite personality in the game or associated with the game.
Yeah, people over here will have no idea and can have no idea how spoiled you were growing up listening to Vin Scully. Obviously, I've heard bits and pieces of Vin, but obviously not to the extent that you would have. And what a character, what a legendary man, and certainly he earned his retirement.
Yeah. I mean, actually, his daughter is local, and she bought Christmas tree ornaments that I made for his Christmas tree. So that's as close to greatness as I've gotten.
That's pretty damn close. That's excellent. One more question, and then we're going to open up a pack of cards here. Let's turn to the fundraiser. As an American, as an artist, and as a baseball fan, what did the Negro Leagues mean to you?
Well, to me, it's like something as a kid that, growing up, it was kind of passed over. The importance, I mean, I didn't realize the importance of that until I was probably, late teens, early 20s. And it was just something that wasn't mentioned in history books, and the reasons for the need for the league were never, weren't brought out in literature back then. And to me, it's just this story that now is finally being told and embraced and understood. And especially in this day and age, I think it's important to really realize the impact that those players had, and also to kind of, fantasize about the impact that they would have had the leagues been joined. So, you look back at a record like Babe Ruth or Lou Gehrig and say, well, what would Cool Papa Bell have done? What would Ray Dandridge have done? How would Satchel Paige have pitched Mickey Mantle? I mean, all these different things where, the scenarios you play out in your mind are just endless. So I just think it's good that the league is finally getting its due, and it's long overdue.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
Absolutely. We're going to open up a pack of cards here. As I said, have a couple of comments from people who are watching the stream that I think you might appreciate, Greg.
Oh, okay.
Going back to the Joe Kelly pout, Danny Quinn, my Glasgow Comets teammate, who is an exceptional centre fielder.
Okay.
Whip it fast. He plays like a Negro Leaguer. This guy, he's absolutely tremendous. He says the Joe Kelly picture of Joe Kelly pouting in front of the mural of Joe Kelly pouting is probably the greatest picture on the internet. And Stephen Loudon has a comment about Big Country. My wife and I saw Big Country New Year 1983 and 84 show at the Barrowland, which is an old famous dance hall here in Glasgow. I think it was shown live on MTV in the USA. A Scottish band, but none of them at the time were Scottish. None of the members at the time were actually Scottish at the time. They were just based here.
Is that right? What was Stuart Adamson?
He, I think, had died by that point. So he was, I think, the only Scottish member of the band, and he died, I think, in early 1983.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood the question. I thought, no, never mind. Tony Butler was not with the band at that point, and was Tony Butler Scottish?
I don't think he was Scottish, no.
Okay. All right. But
Scottish
tell him because of that comment, I'm going to make a Joe Kelly decoupage flag. So stay tuned on that.
Cool.
Awesome, man. Awesome. One to that point, actually, Runrig, their current lead singer isn't Scottish. He's Canadian. Jason.
Right. Okay.
Anyway, we're going to open a pack of cards here.
If it's not like 6-year-old music, like that, I have no idea right now. Like, I couldn't tell you what's going on. I've got a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old, and man, if it's not Frozen or Frozen 2, I couldn't tell you what it is.
Yeah, I had those guys from Australia, the Wiggles, stuck in my mind for I think I just finally got them out. My youngest is 16 now, but I had nightmares about those guys.
Yeah, You just be able to tune it out for a bit, and then next thing you know, you find yourself humming the tune, and it's like, oh, come on, I don't need to see that.
It's scientific. You can't avoid it.
All right, so here's the deal. I've got 6 packs of cards. You got to choose your pack to open it, and then we can talk about any of the players that we pull.
Okay.
I got 89 Donners. I'm a junk guy.
What year was that, 89?
89 Donners.
Okay.
1990 Upper Deck.
Okay.
91 Stadium Club.
That's what I'm going to pick.
You're going to go down. All right, well, there's 92 Donners. 93 Studio. Or you go modern with the big league baseball.
Let's do the 91 Stadium Club.
All right. I said, I didn't buy any of these as a kid. I completely missed all these out. This is right when I started high school. So girls were interested in the baseball cards.
Priorities were all wrong, Jason.
Well, so what it was, John, is these were high-end baseball cards at the time. Like they were going for $4 or $5 a pack because there was a big explosion there. So as I said, it was either gas money or petrol money or baseball cards, and I was trying to test the ladies as much as I could.
Fair enough.
It wasn't to be my Mark McGwire baseball card collection. That wasn't going to do it. So
chicks dig the long ball, they dig cars probably about as much. They don't dig baseball cards as much.
So the first one is Mike Boddicker.
Yeah.
Is
he on the Orioles there?
He is. No, he's with Kansas City there. But on the back, they have his rookie card, and that's with the Orioles.
Oh, gotcha.
But yeah, I know him as an Oriole as well. I don't remember him much as a Royal. Tommy Gregg with the Braves.
Good last name.
Another Brave, Jeff Treadway. I think he was just a backup for the Braves at that point in time. Oh gosh, we're not doing very well. Rob Ducey for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, this is not a good pack right
so
far.
We'll have to open something else here. Hold on. Gosh.
No offense meant.
Greg Harris, Red Sox. I think we got all the scrubs here.
Is that a mullet, Assy?
There is a mullet back there.
He's automatically the best card with full just for the mullet.
Scott Kamenecki? We are not. We're like over 10 so far.
Yeah.
I know that guy.
How many
all right. There we go. Well, it's stuck together. This is John Habayan.
Yep,
My
I've heard of him.
Is there some sort of prize for picking the worst pack?
I mean, it's pretty bad here. Pete Smith, the Braves. I know.
Who could forget Keith Smith?
Oh, hold on. There we go. We got Eric Plunk. Was it the Yankees there? I mean, I remember as an A, but not the Yankee. We're not doing too hot here. All right, here we go.
Those were the lean years, weren't they, for the Yankees?
Yeah. Jack Clark. What?
Yeah, Dodger fans don't like him.
Yep. I can understand that. And then we've got 2 cards all stuck together. All right. Dan Wilson for the Reds. So I know Dan, obviously, he was a Mariner, so long-time catcher. And then Sil Campestano. I think we got the world's worst pack. Our best card is a 15-year-old Jack Clark card. We're not doing very well here.
My apologies.
It's all right. That's the fun of it. I mean, you never know what you get. I mean, how many packs of cards you've got? What crap, and just go through the whole box. So
yeah, at least now if that were to do that, the packs are now what? They start at like $6 a pack and go up. It's crazy.
Have you seen the Transcendent openings?
I'm not a big fan of the openings.
Right.
And I've really I focus on older stuff, stuff where it's not going to come out tomorrow, where, everything we know about Mickey Mantle and Sandy Koufax and Mays and all that and Musial. And to me, I can't see paying, and me and my sons disagree on this. How could you pay $3,000 for a Mike Trout card when you could go back to 1910 and buy probably 40 cards of Hall of Famers for that same amount.
Yeah. Yeah,
you know,
I agree. Yeah, I mean, guys,
and,
we all lived through the junk era. You know, we all had our Canseco McGuire cards, the Sammy Sosa cards. You know,
exactly. But I mean, to me, the beauty, and it's also from the artwork standpoint. It's, you know, after 1980, I kind of tuned out.
Yeah, but that's fair. I have another friend. We talk cards a lot, and he's like, every set you've seen since like the 80s is a variation of the cards from the 50s and 60s, and they've all just kind of gone from there. And I went back and looked at them. I said, yeah, I just never noticed that because I never started collecting the older cards till later. And it was like, you know, I mean, it was just like, oh, it's interesting that one's off that one, that one's off that one. And it's really interesting how through the years they've just kind of taken their old style and just updated it.
Well, to me, the biggest, the most persuasive evidence on that is when Topps selected to do that living set.
Yep.
They went to the 53 set to do it.
Yeah.
It's called Pattern After the 53 set, which I think is one of the most beautiful. So that's another. I could keep you on the phone for. I'm an American, but I could probably talk like an Irishman for another 45 hours on this stuff. So.
All right. Well, then one last question then. So what's your favorite card in your collection then?
1934 Gaudy Gregg.
Wow. Okay.
The head shot with a yellow background with that smile. And you could see how long it took me to think that up, but that's a card that will be with me until I'm no longer on Earth, and maybe they'll bury me with it as well. I just have always loved that card, and I mean, I probably got that card in 1978.
Right.
I can tell you where I bought it too, and that card will always be with me.
Yeah, fair enough. Absolutely. So, well, Gregg, it was fantastic to have you on. It was a lot of fun. We'll have to chat cards again another time.
Absolutely. I can say I'm internationally known now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's the whole appeal for a lot of people is that they've had famous people interview them. They go, oh, we had these Scottish blokes. They interviewed us.
Everybody involved in this project is going global in one way or another. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, Gregg. We'll let you go and enjoy the LA sunshine, and we're going to plough through the cold of Scotland and come back.
Absolutely.
10 minutes with another interview.
I'll continue to sing the praises of Big Country out here, John.
It's funny you should mention Big Country again.
Right now.
It's funny you should mention that because Stephen Loudon, who's joined us on the stream, he apparently is a Big Country super fan, and he's corrected us both. Stuart Adamson was born in Manchester, Bruce was born in Canada, Mark in Slough, and Tony was born in London, but all four became adopted Scots. So none of them were actually born here, but they formed in Scotland, and that's how they're
fantastic.
So thank you so much, Stephen, for putting us right, and thanks so much to you, Gregg, for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much for having me, guys.
No problem, man. Have a good one, man.
Speak to you again.
You too, Jason. Nice talking to you.